What is an unbelievable true fact? In the early 1900s, a wave of molasses rushed through the streets of Boston at 35 miles per hour, killing 21 people. For decades later, locals said on hot summer days they could still smell molasses in the air. When you get a kidney transplant, they usually just leave your original kidneys in your body and put the third kidney in your pelvis. Vending machines kill more people than sharks a year. Australia exports sand and camels to the Middle East. At least one person has stayed in space ISS since November 2000, making October 31st the last date all of humanity was on the Earth together. The most amazing fact I heard of this week is that Saturn's moon Titan has riverine valleys like Earth, except they are formed by flowing liquid methane. Of course, it also rains methane, but the drops are twice as large as rain on Earth and fall at a fifth of the speed. It also has volcanoes that spew out magma that is water and ammonia, and at 100 C has the same viscosity as molten rock. The Stegosaurus was as old to the Tyrannosaurus as the T-Rex is to us. Dinosaurs lived for a long time. If you are 25 years old, apx 1/3 of all the humans that were alive at your birth have died. It is possible for a professional mimic to forget his voice. The greater honeyguide is a bird that drops its eggs into other birds' nests. When born, the chick has 2 teeth at the end of its beak. It then uses that beak to destroy the other eggs, kill the other birds in the nest. So the mama bird returns to a war zone nest and basically has to raise the chick that slaughtered its babies. It loses the teeth like 2 days after being born. Birds are savage. Hyenas have such an aggressive and hormonal society that the females often grow pseudopenis. Yoda and Miss Piggy were both voiced by the same person. Each cell has about 2 meters of DNA and you have about 75 to 100 trillion cells in your body. If you took all the DNA in your body, uncoiled it, and lined it up, it would reach the sun and back approximately 300 times. Trees have such intricate root systems that a tree low on one particular type of nutrient will acquire some from his neighbors and make up for it later. This is especially prevalent during the winter months when some trees don't have leaves and so need extra help from their evergreen friends. That asphalt, bitumen, is actually in a constant liquid state, so you are driving on a surface that has a viscosity level 1000x more than that of honey. There is more fresh water contained in Loch Ness than in all rivers and lakes in England and Wales combined. NASA was sued for trespassing on Mars. Sacred sheep. The ancient Sumerians, who were thought to have developed the first form of writing, cuneiform script, immortalized sheep in the form of gods in their religion. Egyptians believed that sheep were sacred. They even had them mummified when they died. Just like humans. One of the youngest person diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease was 31 years old and pregnant. She died less than 2 years after giving birth. And she is not the youngest case in the world. You can find cases of people getting diagnosed in their mid-late 20s. Very rare, but it happens. Oldest woman to have gotten pregnant naturally and delivered was 59 years old. She got pregnant by surprise thinking she might have cancer. The youngest one was 5 years old. If you live in Montana, switching from electric heat to a rocket mass heater will reduce your carbon footprint more than parking 7 cars. If you made $8,000 every hour since the birth of Jesus Christ, you still wouldn't have accumulated Jeff Bezos's net worth $145.6 billion. A day on Mercury is longer than a year on Mercury. The time it takes to see a full cycle of sunrises is 176 Earth days. The time it takes to orbit the Sun is about half that. It rains diamonds on Jupiter and Saturn. Also, Mars is inhabited by robots. Cleopatra lived closer to the creation of the iPhone than she did to the building of the Great Pyramid. Your future self is talking shit about you right now. A pistol shrimp's claw can move at a speed of 97 kilometers per hour. The speed of the snap is such that a bubble is created consisting of vacuum. The internal low pressure causes a water pulse that immobilizes prey with an associated noise of 218 decibels, which is louder than a bullet, and reportedly a temperature of 4,800 degrees centigrade, which is similar to the surface temperature of the sun, albeit over a very small area. Source 1-2. Once when I was a kid I farted and the TV turned off. Penguins do have knees. About 40,000 Americans are injured by toilets each year. Lego people live in houses made of their own skin. Platypuses produce milk and eggs, therefore a portable source of omelets. Jacksonville, FL is farther west than all of South America. The first thing to form on the mass of cells that will become a human is the asshole. There used to be a flying reptile that was as tall as a giraffe. America stores its reserve oil, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, in underground man-made caverns formed out of naturally occurring salt domes. https://n. Wikipedia.org. Wiki, strategic_petroleum_reserve_the United States. A woman once had her intestines ripped out of her when she took a shit in her cabin during a cruise. Cruise ships often employ powerful vacuums to pull waste through their sewage systems. And unfortunately for her, being a bigger gal, when she sat down and flushed, she created a seal that sucked her intestines out of her. Kermit the Frog has exactly 11 triangles around his neck. In order for you to smell something, we have to breathe in particles of the source. So when you smell shit, I'm essential. I still don't believe it. Every female child is already born with the eggs she'll use to have children. In the 1960s, Chrysler had a missile division, and Ford had spy planes that they would occasionally use to spy on other automakers, get a peek of what their NASCAR offerings were. In the song Rap God, the rap artist Eminem breaks the world record for words per second at 97 words in 6.4 seconds. If he spoke for an entire minute, he would speak 690 words. It's theoretically possible to travel faster than light without traveling faster than light. There are more ways to arrange a deck of standard playing cards than stars in the observable universe. Those fluffy cumulus clouds you see floating in the sky, they weigh about 1 million pounds each. I know this is really hard to believe, but all facts are true. Children of identical twins are genetically siblings, not cousins. There are more planes in the sea than boats in the sky. Humans don't fart. Hard-working bacteria in our colon do the farting, and we selfishly take credit for it. Human butthole can stretch up to 8 inches. The brain named itself. Carrots do not improve your eyesight. Kangaroos have 3 vaginas. If you take all the veins from your body and lay them out one after each other, you die. Olivia de Havilland, who starred as an adult in Gone with the Wind in 1939, is still alive. This is true, and I know it's weird. Dolphins legitimately like to get high off of pufferfish. They can poke the fish around until it starts releasing a mild toxin. And when dolphins get the toxin in their system, it is very similar to when people get high. If you earned $5 a day, every single day since Columbus first sailed to the Americas to now, you still wouldn't have earned $1 billion. That's how much $1 billion is. The Japanese performed surgical experiments on live humans with no painkillers, as well as intentionally spreading disease and famine, and the US gave them a free pass in exchange of gaining data on these experiments before the Russians. Dark part of history that we chose to ignore, unfortunately. Source: Unit 731. 99,999,999,999% of all matter is just empty space. That everyone has at least one person that cares about them. Platypus are mammals that have beaks and lay eggs. The only ones. They also don't have nipples, but rather secrete milk out of their belly from sweat-type glands. I sometimes forget they are real, and not some type of Pokemon. If you water, it grows. Every time you shuffle a deck of cards, chances are you have put them in an order never seen in the history of the universe. You can die in a plane crash whilst staying in a hotel. That you don't need to put true in front of fact, as a fact is a true statement. Every planet in our solar system fits between the Earth and the Moon. Lightning McQueen's real name in Montgomery. A neutron star is so dense that a matchbox-sized portion of one would weigh 3 billion tons. No matter the lengths we go to, all will be one with Nurgle in the end. There's always a little bit of space between you and whatever you touch, no matter how small that space may be. Martin and Gary Kemp from Spandau Ballet. Gary was born with only one kidney. He developed a condition which caused his kidney to fail. His younger brother Martin agreed to be a donor, and it turned out on the scan that Martin had been born with 3 kidneys. I'm not really a doctor. A daddy long-legged spider has a penis if it is male. You don't get arthritis and osteoporosis from cracking bones. Average ding-dong size is 5 inches. So for every super dong you see in those me time videos, there must be a mini dong floating around in space. 80% of the facts in this thread are false. That Roundup weed killer that causes cancer, the one you always see on local TV, created by the same guys as Agent Orange. Pepsi once owned the 6th largest navy, even if just temporarily. The age of the universe depends on where you are, because of the way gravity affects time. If you are in a low-density part of the universe is older than if you are in a high-density part. The 13.8 billion year figure astronomers have deduced is the age of the universe locally. There is at least one ostrich farm in Norway. Andrew Jackson was gifted a block of cheese 4 feet in diameter, 2 feet thick and weighing 1,400 IBs. Well, if you don't believe it, then you don't think it's true. And if you do believe it, then it's not unbelievable.